The 6.5 magnitude earthquake in a very remote area of the state, felt as far as California and Utah, was the strongest there since the 1950s, an expert said. A 6.5 magnitude earthquake struck an overseas area in western Nevada timely Friday, damaging a major highway and shaking homes as far as Utah and California. There were no reports of widespread damage within the sparsely geographical region. But sections of Highway US 95, which runs north-south, were closed Esmeralda and Mineral counties because of damage, the Department of Transportation said. The quake was felt by some in Northern California and Salt Lake City, many miles from the epicenter. It struck about 35 miles outside the small town of Tonopah, which features a population of about 2,400, at about 4:30 a.m. local time, the U.S. Geological Survey said. Andrea Williams, 66, the manager of the Jim Butler Inn and Suites Motel in Tonopah, was drinking her first cup of coffee of the day when she felt the earthquake. Her dogs went nuts, she said. Items fell off the kitchen counter. Hanging potted plants started swinging because the motion of the globe grew. It was barely rattle that kept getting bigger and stronger, she said when reached by telephone. These sorts of things, 20 seconds can appear as if 5 minutes. Graham Kent, the director of the Nevada Seismological Laboratory, said that an earthquake of that intensity has not hit the state in 66 years, while it lies in a very 100-mile wide zone of active faults remarked as Walker Lane, which straddles the Nevada and California border. All of a sudden we've an unlimited earthquake, Dr. Kent said on Friday. The most interesting piece of this puzzle is that in Nevada, we've not had an earthquake of this magnitude since 1954. Sooner or later Mother Nature goes to catch up. The last comparable earthquakes in Nevada passed in 1954, when there are a pair east of town of Fallon that measured 7.1 and 6.8, he said. Friday's earthquake struck about 200 miles from Metropolis. 6 aftershocks, between 4.5 and 5.1 magnitude in strength, rippled through the region after the foremost earthquake, the laboratory said. The USGS forecast a 4% chance of more aftershocks as large or larger than 6.5 magnitude within the region within the next week, said Paul S. Earle, a USGS seismologist. The USGS's preliminary measurements showed the earthquake was 1.7 miles deep. The estimate would be refined with further study of the event, Mr. Earle said in an interview. Dr. Kent said more extensive measurements have put it as deep as 3 miles. Light to moderate shaking was felt in larger cities within the state, including Reno and Concrete Center, likewise as in Fresno and Sacramento in California. In Fresno, Lance Cardoza, a consultant, posted a video of his lights swinging on social media. Mr. Cardoza, 48, said he was awakened by creaking noises and shaking in his 12th floor loft, and his immediate thought was that somebody had broken into his apartment. Then he saw his chandelier and television, both of them installed with chains, swinging. Because the building is so high, I felt it swaying, which I felt barely dizzy, he said when reached by telephone. It lasted for a pair of excellent 30 seconds.